Hey guys, today I want to talk about a topic that I actually discussed like 4 years ago, and that's the topic of Kobe Bryant and how he compares in the pantheon of great NBA players and especially to LeBron James. And I thought I made my point clear back in 2015. I made a lot of different arguments as to why I think Kobe Bryant's an overrated player. People tend to overrate him, casual fans tend to overrate him, and to this day, it seems like a lot of people still disagree with me, and they think that Kobe Bryant is much better than LeBron James, and a lot of people think that he's even the greatest of all time, the GOAT. And I'm a little bit perplexed as to why so many people believe that, like how good he is, which is it's a little bit surprising to me. I made that video back in 2015, and Kobe retired in 2016, and it's not like Kobe got much better his last season, right? He actually his last season was probably his worst. But still, and LeBron got a lot better too since he won a championship against all odds in 2016. He came from down 3-1 to beat 73 and 9 win team, the Golden State Warriors, for what is arguably the greatest comeback in NBA history. But despite that, LeBron got better since I last talked about him. Kobe got, well, I wouldn't say much worse, but he didn't get better, that's for sure. But yet, to this day, in 2019, people still believe that Kobe Bryant is a lot better than LeBron James. But why is that? Okay, well let's take a look. Okay, I have here. I Some people know like I do write articles. I write answers for Quora, and this is one of my answers on there. And I also post on my blog as well. My question was actually the question was, why does everyone have Kobe Bryant top five all time? And this is my answer. Uh, in a recent poll of NBA players, so this is a poll of the greatest player of all time. Who do you think is the greatest player of all time? The GOAT, right? And they surveyed all the NBA players, and Michael Jordan came in first place, 73%. That's not surprising at all because I think to most people, the vast majority of people, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. The second and third spots and all the other spots are debatable. You know, for me, my personal list is Jordan on top, and then I have Wilt Chamberlain second, and then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I put Kareem in second and Wilt in third. I kind of go back and forth between the two, but Wilt and Kareem are my second and third right now, and then I have Bill Russell at number four and LeBron James at number five. So it's not like I put LeBron James at number one or anything. So some people would call me, "Hey, you're a Kobe hater. You're a LeBron sexual or whatever." They call Bron sexual. It's like this stupid, kindergarten insult thing. But no, I'm not. I mean, LeBron is in my top five, but he's not anywhere close to number one. I mean, Jordan's still number one for me. But it is true that I put him above Kobe, even though I can't call myself a Kobe hater because Kobe's still in my top 10. He's just number nine, and LeBron's at number five. So, all these Kobe stands, all these Kobe supporters, they get really, really offended when you put LeBron above Kobe. And I mean, it's not like I put LeBron number one. He's number five, and Kobe's still in my top 10. So I'm not exactly a hater. But that's just, let me go over my reasonings, okay? So first of all, let's look at this. LeBron James actually came in second, 12%. Kobe Bryant came in third at 10.6%. And then Kareem at number four, then Magic, Iverson, and Durant. And this to me is really, I mean, this list is so bad, First of all, Kareem at 1.7%. Are you kidding me? And no Wilt Chamberlain, no Bill Russell. So this tells me that the NBA players right now, they're just really, really young because most of them joined the league very recently, right? And usually NBA players don't stay in the league very long. Dirk Nowitzki just retired. Dwayne Wade just retired. LeBron James is one of the oldest players that's still playing. Vince Carter is probably the oldest player that's still actively playing. But these kids, man, like, people say like they give you this argument that NBA players, because they play the game, their opinion is much better than yours than basketball analysts because basketball analysts don't play the game and NBA players do. Well, the problem is that NBA players are kind of biased, right? Because because they play against the people in their era, so they're going to be biased to the people in their era, right? So look at Allen Iverson. A lot of NBA players grew up idolizing Allen Iverson, but it doesn't mean, that he should be the greatest player of all time. That's just stupid, right? And a lot of them obviously never played against Kareem or Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson. None of those guys are on here because they're older players. And so this list, NBA players, whatever you ask them, their greatest player is going to be biased towards the most recent players, right? So that's why I don't take NBA players that seriously, because yes, I know they play the game and stuff like that, but they're always going to be biased to their era, right? Whereas basketball analysts, we're going to look at the different eras, and then how does that player stack up against the other people in their era is what I care the most about, right? And people are going to say, well, older eras, they have less competition, like the 60s, especially the 60s and 70s. People really disrespect that era because they're like, oh, there's only 8 teams or something like that. You got to measure people against their era. You can't just measure people across eras. It doesn't make sense. They're not time travelers, right? We have no idea how they would do in today's current era. You can't just compare someone with modern day technology against someone with older technology. It's like me going back in time with a smartphone and going up against someone with with like a abacus or something like that. It just doesn't make sense, right? So anyways, Kobe in third place here, by the way. A lot of fans are saying that Kobe Bryant is preferred by most NBA players over LeBron James, but that isn't true. He's actually in third place. I mean, more people prefer LeBron James by a slight percentage, like 1%. Um, Allen Iverson and Kevin Durant being on the list is kind of surprising to me. They're recent players, so that's probably why. And then I go on social media and I see a lot of offended people, right? All these Kobe fans, they're so offended. Oh, LeBron over Kobe. What the heck? Kobe's better than LeBron, right? These ones get like 1,000, 3,000, 4,000 upvotes. LeBron's not better than Kobe, 2,000 upvotes. Kobe's better than LeBron. LeBron James can't sit at Kobe's table, right? And let's look at social media, because I think I went to YouTube and I compiled a list of all these different I went to YouTube and I compiled a list of all these people who are making comments on the videos. Whenever a YouTube video comes out, it's ESPN or it's Skip and Shannon on Fox Sports, and they're talking about Kobe Bryant. And whenever anyone mentions Kobe in any sort of negative light, people are going to comment saying, "How dare you disrespect Kobe? The amount of disrespect Kobe gets is unbelievable." Like, look at these comments, right? Kobe Bryant is slowly turning into the most underrated player of all time. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Like, people bring up Kobe literally all the time, right? He shouldn't even be in the GOAT conversation, but he is. And, like, that's what I mean. Like, Tim Duncan should be in the GOAT conversation over Kobe, but Tim Duncan almost never gets mentioned in the GOAT conversation, even though he has more awards. He has, he has better stats in some areas than Kobe, but more awards, and he lost less in the finals, but people still bring Kobe over Duncan, and they act like Kobe won all of his rings, even though, he only won 2 rings as the best player, but they still bring up Kobe's name all the time, and they say, whenever you don't bring up his name, oh, how dare you disrespect Kobe Bryant. He played in the West. LeBron James played in the weak East. All these had a lot of upvotes. Kobe has become the most underrated great of all time. That's, like, how can you say that when Tim Duncan is never brought up in the conversation? How is Tim Duncan not more underrated than Kobe Bryant, right? And the fact that no one ever mentions Kareem or Wilt or Russell, Kobe's grotesquely underrated, man. LeBron needs help to win a championship. Kobe, this is so stupid. LeBron needs help to win a championship. Like, people forget that Kobe didn't have any help. Kobe got robbed for MVPs. This is a lie. I'm gonna actually debunk this I'm actually gonna debunk this later. The fact that they're intending Kobe's not being in the top 10. Kobe gets no respect at all. Kobe is way more skilled. Yeah, the amount of disrespect Kobe gets is unbelievable. Yeah, and like this one, the Kobe disrespect is real. Got to make a video about this. Well, I'm making a video about how how much Kobe, how much respect Kobe gets, more than he deserves. I think. I mean, just look at all these legion of Kobe fans just defending him every time, right? Kobe's the best player of all time. It's crazy how these people disrespect Kobe. It's like they never watched him. And then this is another argument people make for Kobe. He's like you can't put what Kobe does into stats. You know, it's got to be about the eye test. You know, when I went to the games, Kobe was the best player I ever saw. So like, this is another stupid argument. What is the eye test? Like, you never went back in time and saw Kareem play. You never went back in time to see Jerry West play or Oscar Robertson play. So the eye test is just biased because it only includes, it's just the subset of people that you watched play, which is stupid, right? Like, how can you judge how can you judge a player in the top 10 or top 5 all time if you're just going to limit it to players that you saw play in person? That's going to be a really short list, right? And it's not going to include any of the old players at all. Like, no one can ever see Wilt Chamberlain play because he's dead. Like, you know, like, he doesn't get to defend himself because Wilt Chamberlain died actually exactly 20 years ago. So yeah, that's crazy to me that people would use the eye test. That's so stupid. Like, your eye test is limited to people that you saw play. So how can that possibly be any sort of objective list, right? Disrespect to Kobe is so real. Every legend and player chose Kobe. Bronze sexuals and media choose LeBron. Again, the bronze sexuals kind of stupid. Yeah, Kobe's more skilled. Kobe's light years ahead of LeBron. Why did they have to discredit Kobe? Kobe's disrespect is just ridiculous. Kobe disrespect has to stop. Kobe was robbed twice for MVP. Again, going to debunk this later on. Quit disrespecting the man. Disrespect to Kobe's unreal. Disrespect to Kobe. Like, everyone's saying this. Like, whenever you say anything negative about Kobe at all, oh, the disrespect to Kobe. Like, what the heck, man? Like, how can people ever say that Kobe's underrated when he has probably the most ardent fan base I've seen of any player besides Michael Jordan, probably. Like, aside from Michael Jordan, he's the only other player I know that would have this much fans defending him. Like, imagine someone said something about you know, Tim Duncan or something like that. Like, not many people is gonna have this many comments saying stop disrespecting him or something like that, right? But it's with Kobe, it's like, as soon as you bring his name up and you say anything remotely negative, it's wow, the amount of disrespect to Kobe's unreal. Everyone forgot about him, how amazing he was and stuff like that. Like, no, man, he's just like, Kobe is so overrated. Can't you tell? The fact that he's being brought up in conversation all the time, like, people are saying Kobe never gets brought up in conversation. People forgot about him. What the heck? He's brought up way more than he should be. I mean, come on. Okay, let me continue with this. Why so many fans are praising Kobe, right? He has the most diehard fan base ever, right? And it's really, really at odds with what basketball analysts and sports publications actually rank Kobe, right? So you look at ESPN, Sports Nation, Sports Illustrated, Bleacher Report, all these different publications, all of them have LeBron James ranked higher than Kobe Bryant, right? Look, Kobe Bryant at number 12 at ESPN list. I've already done a rundown of that in another video, right? Which I said I have Kobe in my top 10. ESPN does not. A lot of people got offended that Kobe Bryant was out of the top 10, and but I don't think it's an unfair spot at all. I think it's fair to say that Shaq or Hakeem is better than Kobe, but a lot of people would get offended about that, right? So they would say, "How dare you disrespect Kobe?" or something like that. But I think when it comes to Kobe Bryant, people get really passionate, and you got to look at things objectively. Okay, I don't think Kobe's in any of the top fives in any sports publication or any analyst. Uh, yeah, I mean, almost all of them have LeBron James higher. Actually, this one, yeah. See, they have Wilt Chamberlain higher than Kobe. I think this one is an older. This might be an older poll because LeBron James is lower on here, but still, I mean, I think he would be higher. He would be higher now. This came out a few years ago, before he won his third ring. So, anyways, I have a few reasons as to why fans rank Kobe so much higher than basketball analysts do. And one of the reasons, I actually have 9 reasons here actually. First reason is Kobe was the best marketed athlete of his generation. I mean, right next to Jordan, he was he was everywhere, on the pages of sports magazines, video games. He has his own buzzwords: killer instinct, Mamba mentality. He even won an Oscar after his playing days. Like he's pretty much in the news all the time. He plays in the biggest market, LA. He was very flashy. Like he does those dunks. He won a dunk contest before. All right, he scored a lot and he won a lot of rings. And that's the things that casual fans care the most about. One is winning rings, and the second is scoring a lot of points. Right? Those are the things that casual fans care the most about. It's almost like they don't really care about defense, or they don't care about rebounds or assists, or advanced stats at all, right? It's all about the raw points and all about how many rings you win. But we all know, I'm going to go over this later, why that's really not all you should look at, right? He played in a different era, kind of, although LeBron and Kobe's careers overlapped. He technically didn't play in a different era than LeBron. They actually played in the same era. But I guess people get caught up in the moment and they see LeBron playing now and they're like, oh, Kobe is tougher or whatever. He would never flop or do something like that. Okay, even though LeBron started in 2003, Kobe ended in 2016, so there's 16, yeah, there's not 16, 13 years where they were playing together. So their careers overlap for 13 years. I don't know how you can say that Kobe played in a different era. Kobe is seen as more clutch than LeBron, and I'll actually debunk this as well because he's actually not more clutch than LeBron, and I'll show you the stats of not too. All right, and Kobe is seen as a harder worker and more skilled than LeBron, and I think part of this comes from the fact that LeBron is a bigger player. He's more physically, he's physically bigger, and people, unfortunately, fans kind of disrespect people who are bigger or taller because they think that just because you're bigger or taller means that you don't need as much skill as smaller players do, which I think is a misconception. That's untrue. Like, there's tons of tall people in the world, right? Like Conan O'Brien, the talk show host Conan O'Brien is tall. Doesn't mean he can play basketball well, right? And just because you're tall doesn't mean that you can be better at basketball. Like, it doesn't mean that you're automatically more skilled than someone who's shorter. So that's kind of a misconception. But people think that because Kobe is not as big or as physically strong like as LeBron, then he's more skilled because he's smaller or whatever. Like, this is a stupid argument, but that's what a lot of fans make. A lot of fans think that Kobe was robbed of MVPs. Again, we've seen this in some of those YouTube comments that we saw. This is false, and I'll get to this later on as well. Kobe's the closest to Jordan. Again, this is actually, this is true. I'm not going to debunk this because Kobe is the closest to Jordan in terms of skill set and play style, but it doesn't mean that he's the second greatest. I mean, Jordan is the greatest player of all time, but Kobe, even though he's the closest to Jordan in terms of skill set and play style, doesn't automatically make him the second greatest because they're different. They're still different players. So, and they have different accomplishments and different stats. So I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but it's just it's illogical to think that Kobe is the second greatest just because he has a similar skill set to the greatest. Okay, so those are the reasons why I think that casual fans overrate Kobe Bryant. And so let me go over some of the things that fans talk about, okay, as to why they like Kobe Bryant so much, and the arguments for why they think Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the clutch argument that Kobe is more clutch. Okay, so when you look at the stats and you look at the last 10 seconds, the last 24 seconds in the fourth quarter, Kobe Bryant actually isn't that good. Like, he's actually pretty bad. His field goal percentage is 20 to 30%, depending whether it's the final 10 seconds of fourth quarter in the postseason or 24 seconds of the fourth quarter slash overtime of the postseason. Surprisingly, Carmelo Anthony's actually pretty good in the last 24 seconds. But anyways, and these are kind of old stats. LeBron's actually gotten better since then. He actually made 2 buzzer beaters just in the 2018 playoffs alone. Kobe Bryant, at least in the postseason, he's not very good. He makes 20 to 30%, which is pretty bad field goal percentage. He's 7 out of 28 in the last 24 seconds of fourth quarter or overtime in the postseason. So some people are going to say, but Kobe had 36 game winners. He has the most game winners in NBA history or something like that in the regular season. But regular season doesn't really matter that much compared to the postseason, And the reason why he has so many is because he shoots a lot, right? He shoots a lot, and unfortunately, when it counts, which isn't in the playoffs, it's honestly not that great. Yeah, and I said this before, Kobe is not as good as most people believes, right? Again, the clutch thing is just one of the many arguments I'm going to debunk today. Kobe's not as clutch as people think. He's actually pretty bad when it comes to when it matters, which is in the postseason, right? He's 7 out of 28. LeBron is 8 out of 22. And there's a false misconception that LeBron James does not have the killer instinct or the Mamba mentality that Kobe Bryant has. Kobe Bryant is more clutch or something like that, but the stats just don't show it, right? And another thing, let's go over the other argument, that Kobe Bryant was robbed of MVPs. This is another common argument that Kobe fans make. Okay, let's see how it actually is. So we're going to look at the basketballreference.com NBA awards voting chart. 2005 is the year that Kobe fans think that Steve Nash stole the award from Kobe. Kobe wasn't even on the MVP voting list that year, right? How can you be stealing from someone who wasn't even on the voting list, right? So people are going to say, well, that's because Kobe had his rape trial case and the media hated Kobe or whatever. Okay, let's go to 2006. Kobe's on the list here. He's at number 4, right? So, again, is it still left over from the rape trial thing, or I don't know, but 4th place is not exactly being stolen. Like, you have to be at least in 2nd place, I would think. LeBron James is in 2nd place that year. So if anything, Steve Nash stole it from LeBron, not from Kobe, right? And that was the year Kobe averaged 35 points or whatever. Some people are like, well, Kobe should have got the MVP that year because he averaged 35 points a game, blah, 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 blah. Well, the MVP is not who scores the most points. That's the scoring title, right? The scoring title goes to the player who scored the most points, averaged the most points, not the MVP. The MVP is about the most valuable player. And Kobe, that year he brought LA to the playoffs, but they lost in the first round. So, yeah. Anyways, 2007. Okay. Steve Nash was in second. Steve Nash was in second over Kobe in 2007. So if anything, Steve Nash could have won a 3rd MVP award, right? Dirk Nowitzki got it this year, but Kobe was in 3rd place. So yeah, people are saying like, oh, Steve Nash shouldn't have got that award. Kobe Bryant should have got it. When they're looking at just points, right? But you don't realize that points are not everything. Like, it's about the whole impact you bring to a team. That's what the MVP award is. It's not about how much points you scored, right? Otherwise, Michael Jordan would have 10 MVP awards. Wilt Chamberlain would have 7 because they have 10 scoring titles, 7 scoring titles for Wilt. But it's not the scoring title. It's the MVP award. It's different. It's about your total impact on the team. 2008, Kobe won it, obviously. That's something we all know, although some people think that Chris Paul should have had it. Kobe actually did win it that year. He did not. Yeah, he only beat Chris Paul by 200 points. But you can't say that the media, whatever, they don't want to give Kobe a MVP because of his rape trial, because they gave it to Kobe in 2008. And then 2009 was probably his best runner-up performance, right? This was the one you can say that Kobe kind of got robbed, although he really didn't, because you look at the points won, right? 700 to 1200. Not really that close. I mean, Chris Paul had a better case for getting robbed than Kobe in 2009. So LeBron James beat Kobe by a margin of 400 points here. So almost 500 points. So I can't say that Kobe Bryant got robbed in 2009, but he did his best runner-up performance here, which is 2009. 2010, again, the last year of Kobe's true prime, I would say, he was third in MVP voting. So that's the truth, guys. Kobe was not robbed of MVPs. 2005 wasn't on the list. 2006, fourth place. 2007, third place. 2009, second place. 2010, third place. So you can't be robbed unless you're second place. The only year Kobe was second place was 2009, and LeBron beat him by a 400-point margin in MVP voting. So there's that. Okay, so now let's go over the most common arguments here why NBA fans still rank Kobe over LeBron. Okay, so here are the most common arguments why NBA fans are still ranking Kobe over LeBron, even though LeBron is ahead by Kobe by, like I said, all major sports publications rank him ahead of Kobe. He's ahead of Kobe in pretty much every statistical category, including advanced stats, except for free throw percentage. That's the only stat he's below Kobe at. But every other stat, I'm going to go over a bunch of them later on, but every stat he's ahead of Kobe. He is also catching up to Kobe and will pretty soon surpass Kobe in the all-time leading scorer scoring board. He's at, he just needs about 1,000 more points to pass Kobe, despite playing 4 less seasons. And he's already way ahead of Kobe in total assists and rebounds. And he's also ahead of Kobe in MVPs, final MVPs, all NBA selections, and is the Rookie of the Year. Kobe has more rings, scoring titles, all-star selections, and all defensive selections. So, yeah, I don't think the margin between Kobe and LeBron should be that close. I think LeBron is better than Kobe by a substantial margin, but, other people don't think that's the case. So let's go over the reasons. The number one reason that people give for Kobe being better than LeBron is Kobe has more rings and he didn't lose as much in the finals. He's 5'2" in the finals. Kobe's 5'2" in the finals. LeBron is 3'6". But I don't think this is a fair. I don't think it is fair to judge people solely based on their finals records, because you have to get to the finals in order to have a chance to win a ring. And losing in the finals is technically second place. It's getting second place, right? Now, Kobe missed the playoffs in his prime in 2005, but no one cared about that. And he lost, he didn't go to the playoffs the last 3 seasons of his career. So is that better than losing the finals? No, it's not, right? Losing the finals is better than not making the playoffs, because at least when you're in the finals, you have a chance to win a ring. If you don't win a ring, you're still second place. But people are saying if you lost in the finals, that goes on this big objective thing we're going to look at called the finals record. Like, what the heck, right? Shouldn't you care about how much they lost in the first round or second round or conference finals or not making the playoffs? Isn't that worse than losing the finals? But I guess to people it's not. Apparently only losing in the finals matters, which is stupid, because you have to be in the finals to win, right? And you're getting second place when you lose in the finals. So I've never seen another sport where a player who gets second place is criticized more than a player who wasn't even in the top 10. Like, that's dumb. Like, if you miss the playoffs, you're not even going to be in that top 10. When you lose the finals, you're going to be in second place. But getting second place is worse. Like, I don't get that. So, it doesn't even take into account that Kobe wasn't the best player on his team for the first 3 rings because he had Shaq. And, Kobe missed the playoffs in his prime. LeBron missed the playoffs this year, which a lot of people are criticizing him about. Like, oh, LeBron missed the playoffs, and dude, he's 34 years old. This is his 16th season. He averaged 28, 8, and 8. He missed 17 games this year, and he missed the playoffs. Okay. Well, so what? Like, Kobe missed the playoffs in his prime in 2005, right? LeBron can be argued that he's not in his prime anymore. He's already declining. He's 34 years old in his 16th season, right? And this is the first time he's missed the playoffs since his rookie year. So how come people are making such a big deal of LeBron missing the playoffs this year rather than when Kobe missed the playoffs, right? I don't get it. Okay, number 2 argument. Kobe didn't need a super team to win. So I think people's definitions of a super team is kind of stupid, at least modern NBA fans, because super teams have existed since the 60s when Wilt Chamberlain teamed up with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor to defeat Bill Russell. Remember that? That's technically a super team, right? But apparently, modern NBA fans they take super team to mean basically when LeBron James joined the Miami Heat, and that's when the super team era started. But it's been, super teams have existed all throughout NBA history. You had Moses Malone joining the 76ers in 1983. You had Charles Barkley joining Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon in the Rockets in '97. You had even for the Lakers, you had Karl Malone and Gary Payton joining the Lakers in 2004, and you had the big three Celtics, right? Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce in 2008. So how did LeBron create a super team when super teams have existed, for the pretty much all of NBA history? And also in 2012, Kobe and Gasol teamed up with Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. We're not going to count that. And people are going to say, well, Steve Nash was old, and Malone was old, and Peyton was old, and stuff like that. To me, that's just an excuse, man. Like, how can you? The 2004 Lakers went all the way to the finals. Like, that was a really, really good team, and you're not going to put the blame on Kobe for that, for losing that against the Pistons. Like, people make fun of LeBron for losing to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Like, oh, LeBron choked in 2011. He lost against Dirk, a team with one All-Star. He lost to an old team with one All-Star. Guess what? Kobe lost to a team with one All-Star. 2004. Ben Wallace was the only All-Star that year. And he lost to the Pistons with a super team, right? So the exact same thing happened. The exact same thing happened to Kobe's team, right? 2011, LeBron's super team lost to Dirk's Mavericks. 2004, Kobe's super team lost to the Detroit Pistons, which only had one All-Star. So how come people don't criticize Kobe for that, but they criticize LeBron for that, right? So yeah, I don't get that. I don't know why people would count free agents joining a team as a super team, but when a front office trades you, or if you draft a player, that doesn't count as a super team. So apparently, when the front office does something, it doesn't count. But when a player has the free choice to do something, then it counts. So we're gonna penalize players for making decisions based on their own, based on what they want. But we're gonna support the rich executives, the management, to decide for players where they want to go. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Number 3 argument: Kobe played in a tougher conference. So people are like, Kobe played in the West, LeBron played in the East. LeBron had it easy, right? So the problem with this argument is that it kind of undermines the argument that LeBron is worse because he lost more in the finals. And the reason is because if LeBron played in the West, you need a better team to go to the finals, right? If you need a better team to go into the finals in the West because the West is tougher. So by the time you get to the finals, you're going to have a better chance of beating the team from the East, right? If LeBron has an easy team from the East, he has a better chance of going to the finals. But he also has a harder time winning in the finals because he's up against a harder Western team. So you guys got that? Like, if you're going to criticize LeBron's finals records for losing more in the finals, then you can't say that LeBron's worse because he played in an easier conference, because that's why he lost more in the finals, because he played in the East. By the time he got to the finals, the Western team was much tougher, and he has a much harder chance to win. Therefore, he loses more in the finals. Whereas in the West, he would have a better finals record because he would have a better finals team to get to he would have a better team to get to the finals, right? So this is, again, a contradictory kind of argument. Number 4, Kobe was more loyal to his team. Never quit on his team. Okay. Again, not true. Kobe asked to be traded several times in his prime when he had a bad team back in 2005 and 2007. So back then, Kobe wanted to be traded to the Pistons, Bulls, even the Clippers. So finally, the Lakers management, they got Paul Gasol from the Grizzlies and then traded to the Lakers. So people want to say that it's all Kobe in 2008 and 2009 took them to the championship. Kobe was the only one that did that. Kobe carried the team. Their team sucked or whatever. No, man. The exact same team with Paul Gasol in 2008 went to the finals. In 2007, Kobe with that same team except no Gasol, they they lost in the first round. So getting Gasol is literally the difference between a first round exit and the finals, right? Like that was pretty much the only difference. 2007, 2008, you add Gasol, you go to the finals. How can it be Kobe? Kobe played in 2007 and he lost, right? And LeBron, he played in Cleveland for 7 years. The management didn't give him any good players. That's why he went to Miami. And then he came back to Cleveland and won them their first championship ever. And he's brought them to every finals appearance the Cavs franchise has had. LeBron has been a part of it. So how can you say that LeBron's not loyal when LeBron's brought them their only championship and he's brought them to every finals appearance in their franchise history? So how can you say that he's not loyal, right? He won them their only ring. Like I don't know how you can say that. And people say that LeBron keeps jumping teams. He's only been on 3 teams. The Lakers are his third team. So he's no more disloyal than Charles Barkley, right? Charles Barkley has been on 3 teams. He has a very similar career. 76ers for, the bulk of his early career. And then he went to the Phoenix Suns, just like how LeBron went to the Heat. And then he went to the Rockets, just like how LeBron is going to the Lakers to finish off his career. So if you're saying that LeBron jumps teams a lot, he jumps his teams no more than Charles Barkley did. Only played for 3 teams in his career. 3 teams isn't that much. It's like how many teams did Shaq play with, right? How many teams did Dwight Howard play with, right? So if LeBron isn't loyal, then what are those guys, right? Another thing is Kobe never had to leave his team during the early years because he had Shaq, who is one of the most dominant players, if not the most dominant player of all time, right? So, if he had Shaq, then why would he have to leave, right? He was in a already good situation. So that's why you can't really compare. Like LeBron, pretty much, he had to bring Zydrunas Ilgauskas to the finals in 2007 as a 22-year-old. Kobe never had to do that. Kobe went to the finals as a 22-year-old, but he had Shaq with him, who was leading the entire team in scoring and rebounding, right? And I know that Kobe fans want to say they want to elevate Kobe, so they want to diminish Shaq's achievements and say that, Shaq actually needed Kobe more than Kobe needed Shaq, or they were, equal, they were 1A or 1B or something like that. No, man, just look at the stats. You can look it up. Shaq did way more than Kobe. No one is disputing that Finals MVP. This isn't like, this isn't a case like in 2015 where you can make a case that Steph Curry should have been MVP over Andre Iguodala. It's not like 1980 where you can make a case that Kareem should have been Finals MVP over Magic Johnson, but he got injured so he couldn't get Finals MVP. It's not one of those cases where the Finals MVP was stolen or whatever like that. Like all those 3 years, 2000, 2001, 2002, that three-peat, Shaq was the best player. He was clearly the best player. He was the number one option, the number one scorer, the number one rebounder. Like he was averaging, something like 35 and 14, like just ridiculous numbers. And you can't say that they were actually, the same, especially in 2000, because in 2000 Kobe actually didn't, he wasn't even contributing that much. I wouldn't even say that 2000 Kobe was in his prime. He probably got in his prime around 2001. 2001, 2002, Kobe did a little bit more, but still, like Shaq was the big guy. He was a dominant player. He was the number one option. Don't try to diminish Shaq's importance by saying that Kobe did, that Kobe was just as important as Shaq during those championship years. He wasn't. He's Finals MVP 3 times for a reason, right? Because he did more than Kobe. Kobe was not the best player during those 3 years. Just get over it, Kobe fans. Like, it's the truth. Okay, 5 is Kobe was tougher than LeBron. I think I already went over this argument before. It's just people think that LeBron, he flops too much and stuff. He's like, they call him Le Queen or like Le Bitch or something like that. But the truth is, like, they're taking advantage of the current NBA rules so that they can get more points, which is a smart thing to do, right? And Kobe would have done the same thing if he played in this kind of era, right? And yeah, I know they kind of played in the same era, but like Kobe would have done the same thing more here because like it's more of a trend now, I guess, to flop. But if Kobe had the chance to get free points, he would. And people are saying that LeBron's softer. Kobe tore his Achilles and sank 2 free throws. LeBron got a cramp, had to be carried off the floor. They're different injuries. Like if you get an Achilles tear, you're still able to use your hands to shoot free throws, right? But if you have a cramp, you literally cannot move, right? Like I don't know if anyone's ever had a cramp before, but you can't do anything. So and LeBron is backed up by Isaiah Thomas here. Isaiah Thomas, as some people know, he actually played on an injured ankle before. He played on a sprained ankle in the 1988 finals, right? But it's not the same injury. And Isaiah actually backed up LeBron, saying that if you got a cramp, you got a cramp, you can't play anymore. So you can't say that LeBron was soft or whatever. And he's a 280-pound guy. You think you can't play in the 80s and 90s? Like, come on. He would dominate that era. He's just flopping because he's taking advantage of today's rules. That's why. Okay, so number 6, Kobe was more clutch. LeBron had killer instinct. We've already gone over this, why Kobe is not clutch at all. Um, well, I wouldn't say at all, but he's not as clutch as LeBron is, or Michael Jordan, obviously. So I think it's just narrative. People who say that Kobe's more clutch, they say that Kobe's more clutch because other people say that Kobe's more clutch. They don't actually, like whenever I ask anyone, hey, just name me a game where Kobe shot it. Just name me a buzzer beater that Kobe shot in a finals game. Any kind of clutch move that Kobe made in a finals game, and they can't name me anything because Kobe never made any clutch shots in the finals, right? He's made some clutch shots in the playoffs, but never in the finals. Whereas LeBron has, right? He's done that game-saving block on Andre Iguodala in the 2016 finals. So yeah, Kobe has never had any sort of those clutch moves in the finals. So he's actually not more clutch. And Kobe's robbed of MVPs. We debunked this as well. Kobe was not robbed of any MVPs except for maybe 2009, but 2009 LeBron was ahead of him by over 400 points in MVP voting. People keep saying that Steve Nash was the one who stole the MVP award from Kobe, but that's just not true because as we see in 2005, he wasn't on the ballot. And 2006, which was the other year that Steve Nash won it, Kobe was in 4th place. So you can't be robbed when you're in 4th place. Kobe's more skilled than LeBron. We've already gone over this as well. People perceive smaller players as being more skilled than the taller players or stronger players, and it's really unfair to people who are taller or stronger because just because you're taller or stronger doesn't mean that you're less skilled. And if being tall, like people they disrespect tall players. Are like, hey, if you're 7 feet tall, then you should always be able to make a shot or something like that, or you should always be able to score points. Like they say, oh, Will Chamberlain was 7'1", Kareem was 7'2". You should always be able to score that many points. If that was the case, then Yao Ming would have the most points in NBA history because he's 7'6", right? But it's not true. Not every tall player is skilled, and not every tall player is skilled, and it's really disrespectful to tall players who are skilled, right? To say that small players are like somehow inherently more skilled than bigger players. I don't think that's fair. Like, Duncan is not seen as skilled as Kobe is because he's taller, and I just think that's disrespectful to big men like Duncan or Wilt or Kareem. And another point we kind of gone over is people care about scoring a lot, so they just whenever people say, oh, Kobe scored blah 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 this many points, 60 points, and he outscored the entire Mavericks team in 3 quarters and 81 points and stuff like that. Like the game's so much more than just points. Like everything else in the game. You have 5 players on the court. You got to rebound. You got to play defense. You got to assist. If you just score points, like people are gonna say, well, at the end of the day, scoring buckets is what matters. Well, sure, but if you're in a pickup basketball game, you're playing basketball, right? And I play basketball, pickup basketball, right? And I've seen a lot of people say these kind of comments. They probably never played basketball before. People are not going to want to play with you if you want to shoot all the time, right? If you're never going to pass or rebound or do anything else, people are not going to want to play with you. And that's the thing. The problem with Mamba mentality is like you gotta shoot as much as you can or something like that. But people are not gonna play with someone who always hogs the ball and shoots it all the time. No one's gonna want to play with a player like that, right? So that's the truth. It's like, yeah, it's cool if you have Mamba mentality and you shoot and you make it at the end for a clutch shot. But who do you like? If you always make it, that's fine. But you're not Steph Curry. Like you don't have like 45% field goal percentage or 44% three point percentage. Like, yeah, sure. If you think you're the greatest shooter ever, then shoot as much as you want. But most people, I'm gonna guess, are just average players, and if they shoot, they don't really have a good chance to make it. And why not just pass it to the person who's more open, right? You imagine you're in a pickup game. It's the last seconds, 10 seconds or whatever, and you have the opportunity to shoot, but you're covered, right? But Mamba mentality tells me I have to shoot the ball no matter what, right? And you shoot the ball and you're probably gonna miss. Someone's gonna block you, right? But if you do the LeBron move, and people criticize LeBron for passing too much at the end, and you pass it to your open teammate, and he makes it, and he has a better chance of making it. That's the basketball move to do. Like if you have basketball IQ, that's what you would do. Ironically, one of Kobe's clutch moves is in the 2000 Western Conference Finals against the Portland Trail Blazers, and he passed that alley oop dunk to Shaq, right? He did an alley oop to Shaq. He could have shot his own shot there, but he passed it to Shaq because he saw that Shaq had the better opportunity to make those points, right? So ironically, one of Kobe's most clutch moves in playoffs history is when he didn't shoot at the end, right? He passed it. So it's not always about just shooting whenever, right? Yeah, so that's the thing. It's not always about scoring, not always about shooting, whatever. To number 10, LeBron is a toxic teammate, has a big ego. Again, this is a really, really ironic argument to make because the assumption people have about LeBron is that he's a toxic teammate. People don't want to play with him. He makes his team worse, or something like that, which is factually not true, right? Like he was on the Cavs. He brought the Cavs to the finals. He had a really 66 wins, I think, in the 2010 team. Then he left. That team went to the dumpster. That team went to the playoff lottery, right? They picked up Kyrie, first pick in 2011, and then Kyrie could not make the playoffs at all until he got LeBron, right? And people are going to say, well, Kyrie was young or whatever like that. Literally the only difference, 2014, 2015 is LeBron, right? LeBron took him all the way to the finals, right? All the way until 2018, and then he left the Cavs. And then the Cavs went to the lottery again, right? They're the worst team in the league. Kevin Love, people said Chris Bosh, people tend to overrate Chris Bosh because they want to hate on LeBron more. They want to say like LeBron has a really powerful team because they have Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh is a one-time All-NBA. He's not like Blake Griffin has more All-NBA selections, same position, power forward. Amari Stoudemire has more All-NBA selections. I'm not saying Chris Bosh is a bad player, but I think people tend to overrate him. And they also tend to underrate Paul Gasol because they want to elevate Kobe. So they underrate Paul Gasol and they overrate Chris Bosh because they want to downplay LeBron's achievements, right? That's what I found. And yeah, so the Cavs went to the lottery again, and then LeBron, he goes to the Lakers, and now people say, oh, he made the Lakers worse or whatever. They have the same record this year as last year. How could you make it worse, right? If you're saying that the record last year was better, and then this year they won less games, then that would be a valid argument, sort of. But they won the same amount of games. I don't know how you could say that he made it worse, right? Especially considering he's the leading scorer, rebounder, and assister in the team, and he missed 17 games because of injury. So I don't know how I could say that. So there's a perception that LeBron, he just takes over every team. He's a prima donna. He gets whatever he wants. He's the coach of the team and stuff like that. So you're criticizing LeBron for being an alpha dog, which is ironically the trait that LeBron haters accuse him of not having, which is, they accuse him of not having like those leadership qualities. Like Michael Jordan is an alpha dog, right? Kobe Bryant's an alpha dog. But when LeBron becomes an alpha dog, oh no, he's taking over the team too much. He's acting like a prima donna. He's bringing too much drama to the team. Like, I think this is because of social media. We're just in a social media era where people get caught up in the news and rumors and stuff like that. Like LeBron can literally do nothing in the off season, just do nothing, and then people still criticize him because, oh look, he's trying to bring some free agents to LA and bring drama or whatever. Like he could just not do anything, but because of these stupid social media rumors, you're thinking that LeBron is always doing stuff. So that's the thing. And nobody wanted to play with Kobe too. Kobe chased Shaq out of town because of his ego, and then he was a big factor in why free agents weren't signing with the Lakers in their last years. Like Carmelo wanted to sign with the Lakers in his last years that couldn't play with Kobe. Right? Nobody wanted to play with Kobe because Kobe's a demanding player, and I guess that's okay to Kobe fans because it's a double standard, right? So Kobe's allowed to be arrogant. LeBron calls himself the GOAT, then oh no, LeBron can't call himself the GOAT. That's being really arrogant, you know, like that's why he's not the GOAT because a GOAT doesn't call himself the GOAT. Okay. Kobe calls himself the GOAT. Oh, that's fine. Kobe's allowed to call himself whatever he wants. He's allowed to be arrogant. What the fuck? Like, what the heck's going on, right? How can you have one standard for Kobe and then another standard for LeBron, right? So LeBron doesn't trash talk. He doesn't criticize J.R. Smith for making that blunder in Game 1 of the 2018 Finals. Remember when J.R. Smith made that blunder? He didn't criticize J.R. Smith there. Kobe, he would have torn him apart. And he still trash talks people. He still trash talks about Smush Parker in a podcast, right? So, okay, but people think that LeBron is being arrogant, right? But Kobe, whenever he trash talks people, that's fine. Whenever he's allowed to be arrogant. I don't get it. So you accuse LeBron of being a toxic teammate and having a big ego. Kobe literally does the same things, but that's a positive about him. You say, oh, Kobe's tough. That's why he's like that. What? Like, it's literally like Kobe does the same thing, but it's a positive. I don't get it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically it. And I have like two more end images to show you guys. One is, again, like, people hate on LeBron teaming up with Bosh and Wade and then losing to the Dallas Mavericks, whereas they do not criticize Kobe at all for teaming up with Karl Malone and Gary Payton. You guys might saying, "Oh, those guys are old" and stuff like that. Karl Malone was still pretty good actually that year. Dwight Howard, when he was with the Lakers, led the league in rebounding. So I don't know how I can say those guys weren't good. And they went to the finals, right? Any team who goes to the finals they're obviously good. And then they lose to a team with one All-Star as well. But no one makes any criticisms to Kobe for losing to the Detroit Pistons. And they also don't care when the 2011 Lakers lost to the same Dallas Mavericks that LeBron lost to, right? So LeBron lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. And then the defending champions, the 2011 Lakers, who won the championship in 2010, they got swept by the same team. They got swept by Dirk. Again, the same team with only one All-Star, Dirk Nowitzki, right? Got swept by that team. No one cares, right? So no one criticizes Kobe whenever he loses. He lost to the same team, got swept by them. He lost to a team with one All-Star. No one criticizes him. But when LeBron does it, oh no, like that's his worst finals, and you know, he can't possibly be the GOAT because he lost to Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. Okay. Yeah. So one other image is just this image I want to show you guys is comparison between LeBron and Kobe. As you can see, LeBron leads in every statistical category, as well as most of the all-time records as well, except for total steals. Total steals would definitely be surpassed next season because he's only down by 7. Total points will definitely be surpassed next season as well, I believe, because it's only 1,000 points, or at least in the next 2 seasons, right? 1 or 2 seasons more. Scoring titles, you know, that's not LeBron's only thing he does, so he only has 1. All-Star appearances, I believe he will surpass. So I think the only things that LeBron won't surpass Kobe in is championships because he's pretty much at the end of his career. He's probably not going to win any with the Lakers, so he's going to be down championships. But again, like I said, championships aren't the most not the most important thing. Otherwise, Bill Russell would be the GOAT over Jordan. It's not the most important thing, especially since Kobe wasn't even the best player for his first 3 championships. He'll be ahead of Kobe Bryant in All NBA since he only needs 1 more. And okay, all defensive. All defensive, I don't think he'll match Kobe in. But Again, I don't think Kobe is that great of a defensive player as people think, anyways. I don't have him in my top 20. I mean, all defensive awards are calculated differently because they're based on position. Like, anyone who's watched Kobe Bryant play can tell you he's a good defender, yes, but to be like all time a defender, I'm not sure. Like, just because he has so many all defensive selections doesn't mean he's an all time defender, right? I mean, you have people with less all time defensive selections. Let's say Dennis Johnson, right? And he's a much better defender, or Walt Frazier, right? But they would be considered much better defenders than Kobe, even though they have less all defensive selections. Um, All-star appearances, I do think that he will surpass Kobe. So the only things I don't think he'll beat Kobe at is free throw percentage, because and it's only by 10%, but he's a taller player. Generally, it's harder for taller players to make free throws. Championships, I don't think he'll win any with the Lakers. All defensive, I don't think he'll catch up to Kobe on that. And scoring titles, I don't think he'll get another scoring title either. Not as long as James Harden and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are in the league. And yeah, those are the only categories I don't think I don't think LeBron will surpass Kobe in. The rest, I think he has Kobe beat. So that's it, guys. That's my second rant and probably final rant on why I think LeBron is better than Kobe and why Kobe is overrated. And I know people are still going to believe that Kobe Bryant's the best and the GOAT or whatever. And I'm never going to convince these people because they're so diehard Kobe fans. But I'm just going to give you guys my opinion, my argument. And feel free to criticize me and leave me feedback. Don't call me a Kobe hater. I still have Kobe in my top 10. But I don't think he's better than LeBron. And I don't think he should be in the GOAT conversation either. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Actually, one ending kind of thing I want to talk about is I'm just gonna go to YouTube and this video here. Anytime, like I said, anytime ESPN or any kind of talk show criticizes Kobe, people are going to defend Kobe. He has the most ardent fans, and people are going to say, "How dare you disrespect Kobe?" You see, this is very disrespectful to Kobe's legacy. Like, at least you're going to have a few people saying that, right? See this top comment here? This is what I mean by casual fans really don't know basketball. Because look at this comment. Kobe took the 2005 Lakers to the playoffs. Let that sink in. No, he did not. Kobe did not take the 2005 Lakers to the playoffs. He missed the playoffs that year. So, I mean, it just shows you how much, and this is 818 upvotes so far. So it just shows you how much casual basketball fans don't know about basketball. Like, he did not make the playoffs that year. I think this person's talking about 2006, right? But it's 2005. But usually when you talk about the year, this means the 2004 to 2005 Lakers, right? I don't know how this comment even has 800 upvotes. Like, it just tells you casual fans don't know about basketball, man. Like, come on. Like, that's why I can't take Kobe fans seriously. Your ESPN hires Kobe haters. Like, come on, I can't take Kobe fans seriously. Like, it's like you're trying to argue with like Trump supporters or something like that. They're just thinking so illogically, and this is just factually false. How can it have so many upvotes? It's just factually false. He did not take the 2005 Lakers to the playoffs. You can check on Basketball Reference. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, that's it. End of rant.